Welcome back, everyone. Get ready for a deep dive that's, well, a little different.
Oh, this should be interesting.
We're looking into open mind journey, and let me tell you, it's a wild ride. We're talking consciousness, past lives, even some, let's call them unique abilities.
Sounds intriguing. What's our main source here?
It's the community's website, which is run by this guy, Bozidar. He's a hypnotherapist, been doing it for over 20 years.
Wow, so he's definitely got experience.
And his daughter, Lara, she's a big part of this, too.
Okay, a father-daughter duo.
Mhm.
I'm all ears. What makes this so wild, like you said?
Well, Lara seems to have these talents,
Yeah.
abilities, something beyond what most of us would consider normal.
Right, you mentioned that. So let's start with Bozidar. 20 years of hypnotherapy, that's got to give you some insights.
Totally. And the website actually talks about something he noticed during his practice. Apparently, about 10 to 15% of his clients were, like, amazingly good at hypnosis.
Really? Like naturally gifted?
Yeah, they could reach these super deep states easily.
So that's where his work takes a turn, right? From regular hypnotherapy to something more adventurous.
Exactly. He started guiding these gifted people even further into this realm he describes as packed with knowledge and insight.
Like a hidden library or something.
Kinda, yeah. He even compares it to the Akashic records. Ever heard of those?
Yeah, vaguely. Like a universal storehouse of knowledge, right?
That's the idea. And Bozidar says everyone's experience in this realm is unique, shaped by their own lives and stuff.
Makes sense. But I'm guessing this is where the extraordinary abilities come in.
You got it. While exploring this deeper realm with these folks, Bozidar started seeing some truly unusual things.
Now we're talking. What kind of things?
Some claimed they could scan people's bodies, like pinpoint illnesses. Others just knew things they couldn't have known before.
Whoa. That's definitely challenging the boundaries of what we think is possible.
Big time. And now, let's bring in Lara, Bozidar's daughter. She was pretty much raised in this hypnotherapy world.
Soaking it all in from a young age.
Exactly. And then, at 9 years old, she volunteered to be a demo subject for one of her dad's lectures on, kids and hypnosis.
Wow, 9 years old.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Well, she slipped into a hypnotic state like it was nothing. Even Bozidar was surprised.
Why surprised?
Lara's super analytical, very bright. Those types usually have a harder time letting go, surrendering to hypnosis.
Interesting. So she's got this natural affinity for these altered states. Makes you wonder if it runs in the family.
Right. And things get even weirder. Bozidar and Lara used to take these long walks, just chatting about his work and stuff. And Lara would start saying these things.
Uh-oh. These things do tell.
Insights. Observations way beyond what you'd expect from a kid. It was like she had access to some hidden wisdom.
Okay, that's got to raise some eyebrows. Did Bozidar think she was just, like, really intuitive?
At first, maybe. But then they started paying closer attention. Lara was connecting with something. Or someone.
This is where it gets spooky, right?
It started with one guide, and then about 2 years later, she's talking to 25 entities.
Entities. Okay, we're definitely in the unexplained territory now. Who or what are these entities, and how is she communicating with them?
Those are the million-dollar questions. Is it channeling? Psychic connection? Something we haven't even named yet.
Makes you think about the nature of consciousness, how much we truly understand about our own minds.
And get this, Lara says these entities had answers to, like, almost anything. Knowledge, guidance, the whole 9 yards.
Whoa! So she's tapping into this source of wisdom, and it's influencing her life.
Absolutely. At 16, she even published a whole booklet, said it was dictated to her by these entities.
A booklet at 16, that's wild. Throughout history, we've had people claiming inspiration from other realms. Whether we believe it or not, it makes you wonder.
Totally. And her abilities don't stop there. She started doing automatic writing.
Wait, like letting her hand move on its own and words just appear?
Yep. And the messages were often really profound, insightful.
Automatic writing. That's been associated with spiritual practices for ages. Some say it's channeling, being a conduit for information from elsewhere. Fascinating, to say the least.
And if that wasn't enough, she also claimed to be able to, get this, scan people's bodies remotely.
You're kidding, like see inside them.
Checking internal organs and everything. She was a little hesitant about it, felt too young to deal with serious illnesses, but still.
That's a lot to process. This remote scanning, it aligns with what some might call psychic abilities. Science doesn't have a clear explanation for it, but there are tons of stories, personal experiences people share.
Right. Makes you wonder what other ways of perceiving the world might be out there.
Totally. So, Bozidar and Lara, they're definitely living an unusual life.
You think. And that brings us to the Open Mind Journey community itself.
So they're sharing this with the world.
Lara felt she couldn't keep it all to herself. Started a blog at www.tipsfrombeyond.com.
Catchy name.
And then they created this whole online community sharing Lara's book, blog posts, even transcripts of past lives that people supposedly access through these deep states.
Whoa, past life transcripts. Now that's something I'd like to see.
They even host Zoom meetings to explore all this deeper.
Sounds like they're trying to create a space for, well, open-mindedness, right? A place to explore without judgment.
That's exactly it. They're not pushing any specific beliefs, just encouraging curiosity and wonder.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what are your initial thoughts on all this? What stands out to you the most?
It's a lot to take in, but
I hear you. It definitely challenges a lot of our preconceived notions about reality, about what's possible.
it does. It makes you wonder, what if there really is more to reality than we can see? What if we have this potential within us that we haven't tapped into yet?
Big questions, and ones I'm sure we'll continue to explore as we dig deeper into this open mind journey stuff. You know, one thing that really strikes me is how Lara's abilities, if they're real, I mean, they seem to be more than just accessing information. You know what I mean?
It's not just spitting out facts. There's something deeper there.
Yeah, like she's tapping into a source of wisdom, actual guidance, and it's shaping her whole perspective.
Like there's a real purpose behind it all.
Yeah.
Maybe even trying to help humanity evolve or like raise our consciousness.
Oh, that's a thought. Are these abilities, if they're real, are they just personal or are they part of something bigger? You know, like a stage of human evolution we're barely getting a glimpse of.
Okay, but let's get back to this Open Mind Journey community. It's more than a website, right?
It's like this whole online world for anyone interested in this kind of stuff. Consciousness, past lives, you name it.
They've built this platform for people to connect and explore. And they're sharing Lara's book, her blog posts, even transcripts of past lives.
Hold on, past life transcripts. People actually wrote down what they experienced.
That's what they say. They even have a forum where people can discuss all this and Zoom meetings for like deeper interaction.
You know, I have to give them credit for creating a space where people can talk about this stuff openly. Because let's face it, bringing up past lives at a dinner party, it's not always going to go over well.
Not unless you're at a very specific dinner party.
Right. But seriously, it's understandable. These ideas challenge so much of what we think we know. So having a supportive community makes it easier to explore without feeling judged.
Okay, gotta say, this past life thing really got to me. The concept's been around forever, but actual transcripts with events and emotions and relationships from past lifetimes, that's another level.
Definitely. And according to Bozidar and Lara, these experiences, they can be super insightful, helping people figure out patterns in their current life, you know?
Work through issues from way back then that are still affecting them now.
Exactly.
Makes you wonder, what if these past lives aren't just stories, but actual lessons we need to learn?
It challenges the idea of who we are, doesn't it? Maybe we're more than just this one life.
Okay, so let's say someone's listening and they're like, okay, this is wild, I kind of want to check it out. What's the best way to approach Open Mind Journey? Just jump in head first or ease into it?
Well, I'd say curiosity and an open mind are key. Don't feel pressured to believe or disbelieve anything. Their website has a lot of free stuff, like Lara's blog and parts of her book. Start there, see if it resonates with you.
If you're feeling it, then maybe join the community and get more involved.
It's like a journey into the unknown. You don't know what you'll find, but hey, that's part of the excitement.
Now, we've been focusing a lot on Lara, but Bozidar deserves some credit too. He's more than just the hypnotherapist dad.
Yeah, he's like her guide, mentor, supporting her through all of this. His experience in hypnotherapy gives their work a solid base.
He's built this safe space for Lara to explore her abilities, and he's actively involved in sharing their work with the world.
Really shows the power of collaboration and trust, especially between a father and daughter.
It makes you think, are there more people like Lara out there? Are we just scratching the surface of what's possible?
That's a question that's been around forever. Personally, I believe we all have so much potential inside us.
Way more than we realize.
We're just starting to understand it all.
So what can we learn from their story? What's the takeaway for our listeners who are intrigued by all this?
I think the biggest thing is to be open to new possibilities.
Yeah.
We live in a world where everyone's telling you to fit in and stick to the rules.
Stay in the box.
Exactly. But Bozidar and Lara, they're showing us there's so much more out there if we just break out of that box.
It's like we all have these hidden talents, this potential just waiting to be unleashed. But we need the courage to actually go for it.
It's not always easy, You might face skepticism, doubt yourself even, but it can be so rewarding. You gain a deeper understanding of yourself, your connection to everything around you, even the nature of reality itself.
And who knows, maybe there's a Lara inside all of us, just waiting to wake up.
Maybe so. But even if we don't all have these, extraordinary abilities, we all have intuition. We all have this inner wisdom.
And we can all explore our own consciousness.
Okay, so we've covered Bozidar's background, Lara's abilities, the community they built. I'm curious, what are your personal thoughts on all this? Do you believe in past lives, talking to entities, all that?
That's a big question. I approach it all with curiosity, but I'm also skeptical. I've seen enough to know that consciousness is more than what we currently understand.
Right, science doesn't have all the answers.
But I'm not ruling anything out either.
I think that's the best way to be. Open to possibilities, but also thinking critically. Let the evidence guide you. Who knows? Maybe science will eventually catch up to what mystics and intuitives have been saying for centuries.
And maybe we'll discover that reality is far more, well, fluid than we ever imagined.
Now that's an idea to ponder. And it gets at the heart of what Bozidar and Lara are trying to do. Question your assumptions, expand your awareness, embrace the potential of the human mind.
So if someone's listening and they're ready to start their own open-minded journey, what do you suggest?
Start with the Open Mind Journey website. Check out Lara's blog, read those past life transcripts, maybe join the forum and talk to people.
Most importantly, be curious. Don't be afraid to question what you think you know.
It's not about blindly believing everything. It's about exploring with a discerning mind.
You know, as we've been diving into Bozidar and Lara's world, I've been struck by how hopeful and optimistic it all feels.
It's like they're offering a glimpse into a better future, where humanity has overcome its limitations and tapped into a deeper understanding.
A future where compassion and wisdom are our guiding principles.
A future where we recognize the potential we all have to create a more enlightened world.
Okay, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Open Mind Journey. I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty inspired.
I am too. It's a reminder that there's so much more out there waiting to be discovered.
So for our listeners who are ready to take the plunge, you know where to find them. We'll have a link in the show notes.
Remember, keep an open mind, trust your gut, and enjoy the adventure of exploring your own consciousness.
This has been a truly incredible deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep those minds open. It really does, doesn't it? Like, what could we achieve if we could actually see beyond just this physical world?
It's like we're stuck with this limited view of reality. Imagine what we could do if we could unlock the full potential of our consciousness,
Okay, let's get practical for a second. Some of our listeners might be thinking, this is amazing, but where do I even start? What's one simple step they can take?
I'd say start with mindfulness. Just take a few minutes each day to really pay attention to your thoughts and feelings. Don't judge them, just observe.
That's a good one. It's amazing how much you can learn about yourself by just slowing down and listening to your inner voice.
Right, and from there you can try other things like meditation, writing in a journal, or even just spending time in nature. The important thing is to find what works for you.
It's a journey, not a race. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just be open to the experience and trust your intuition.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe you'll discover your own unique connection to something bigger than yourself along the way.
Before we wrap up, I gotta ask, did anything in the Open Mind Journey stuff really surprise you?
I was surprised by how practical it was. Yeah, they talk about all this deep stuff about consciousness, past lives, entities, but they also give really grounded advice about relationships, personal growth, even physical health.
It's true. It's not all abstract and out there. They actually want to help people live better lives right now.
That's what makes it so interesting, I think. It's a mix of ancient wisdom and modern ideas.
Well, this has been quite the deep dive. I'm feeling pretty inspired. What about you?
Definitely. It's a good reminder that there's always more to explore.
So for our listeners who are ready to dive in themselves, check out the Open Mind Journey website. We'll put the link in the show notes.
And remember, keep that open mind, trust your gut, and most importantly, have fun exploring your own consciousness.
This has been an incredible look into the world of Open Mind Journey. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those minds open.